Do things seem a little unstable recently? No, I'm not talking about COVID-19. I'm talking about everything else. There seem to be tensions and divisions in almost every area of our society, at least in the Western democracies like United States, UK, France, Australia, etc. Divisions between the police and the public, between races, between generations, between the sexes, between political ideologies, between doctors and their patients. Now, there are plenty of good reasons why these divisions may be occurring, but what if another force was at play? What if an outside force was intentionally destabilizing your country from the shadows? What if much of the chaos you've seen inside your own country wasn't an accident, but instead encouraged by outside forces? You might believe that we live in a state of global peace, that wars between major countries are a thing of the past, that all the countries of the world are working together as a team to create a brighter future for all of us. Sorry, but I'm afraid the world isn't that nice. There are some countries out there, in particular the CCP in China and the government of Russia, who likely want to see your country fail. These competitors are, at this very moment, trying to destabilize your country from the inside using the hidden art of ideological subversion. What is ideological subversion? If you want to attack a country, you don't need missiles. Instead, you can destabilize the country from the inside without ever firing a shot. According to former KGB agent Yuri Bezmenov, ideological subversion happens in 4 key stages.
It takes from, say, 15 to 20 years to demoralize a society. Why 15 or 20 years? This is the time sufficient to educate one generation of students or children. One generation, one lifetime span of a person, a human being, which is dedicated to study, to shaping up the outlook, ideology, personality. The next step is destabilization. Again, this word says for itself what it is: to destabilize all the relations, all the accepted institutions and organizations in a country of your enemy. How you do it? You don't have to send up a battalion of KGB agents to blow up bridges. No, you let them do it themselves. Radicalization of human relations. No more compromise. Fight, fight, fight. The normal, traditionally accepted relations are destabilized. The relations between teachers and students in schools and colleges. Fight. The relations in economical sphere between laborers and employers are further radicalized. The society at large becomes more and more antagonistic between individuals, between groups of individuals, and the society at large. Stabilization process usually leads directly to the process of crisis, when the legitimate bodies of power, the social structure collapses. It cannot function anymore. Okay? Crisis is when society cannot function anymore productively. It collapses, obviously. That's the word for crisis. So therefore, the population at large is looking for a savior. The next stage is normalization. The new rulers need stability to exploit the nation, to exploit the country, to take advantages of the victory.
Of course, A foreign enemy cannot destabilize a previously stable country all by itself. If you want to destabilize a country, you wait until the country destabilizes itself, and then you further encourage more destabilization in the same direction.
You see, the tactic of subversion about which I'm talking is similar to the martial art, the Japanese martial art. If a heavier person wants to strike me in the face, it would be very naive and counterproductive to stop his blow. The Chinese and Japanese judo art tells us what to do. First to avoid the strike, then to grab the fist and continue his movement in the direction where it was before, right? Until the enemy crashes in the wall. You see? So, what happens here? The target country obviously does something wrong. If it's a free democratic society, there are many different movements within the society. There are obviously, in every society, there are people who are against this society. They may be simple criminals, ideologically in disagreement with the state policy, conscientious enemies, simply psychotic personalities who are against anything, right? And finally, there are a small group of agents of a foreign nation, bought, subverted, recruited, right? The moment all these movements will be directed in one direction, right? This is the time to catch that movement and to continue it until the movement forces the whole society into collapse, into crisis, right? So that's exactly the martial art tactic. We don't stop an enemy. We let him go. We help him to go in the direction we want them to go.
If there's already unrest and conflict between law enforcement and the police inside a country, you can do your absolute best to make these tensions more extreme, more violent, and more disruptive. If a controversial figure starts running for president, it's in the interest of the enemy country for that candidate to win. Not because of the candidate's policies or politics, but simply because it will further destabilize the target country. Wait for the country to start heading towards destabilization and then nudge it further in that direction. Sleeper agents are those who live inside the target country for a long period of time. It could be 5 years, 10 years, even 20 years. After a long period of integrating with the culture and building a reputation for themselves, they will all begin to act at once. They will become leaders of various grassroots movements inside the target country, encouraging violent protests and criminal behavior. Just recently, a Chinese spy was discovered inside the British Parliament. Another Chinese spy admitted publicly to trying to change public opinion within Taiwan to become more pro-China. While all of this might seem like some kind of James Bond fantasy, it is in fact completely real. There are likely foreign sleeper agents inside your country, attempting to influence the ideology of the general public as well as the political leaders. Social media. Most Western democracies have a completely free and open internet. Anybody, no matter where they are in the world, can set up a Twitter account completely anonymously. This gives foreign powers a simple method of influencing the minds of the population inside another country. Social media is the perfect tool to commit ideological subversion, with targeted operations using both real people as well as bots. Public opinion can be purposefully shifted in one particular direction. TikTok gives the Chinese Communist Party a clear and easy route into the minds of populations around the world. While the app is owned by the company ByteDance, they are required by law to answer to the CCP. This essentially means that the CCP has the ability to control the algorithms inside of TikTok. The CCP could theoretically adjust TikTok's algorithms to influence the population of the United States. They could promote anti-American content, content inciting protests and violence, and content promoting harmful ideologies. The power a small adjustment in the algorithms on TikTok could have on a country should not be underestimated. And all of this could be done without us knowing. After all, we have no access to the algorithms used in TikTok. Of course, it's not only China and Russia, America itself has been spreading its soft power around the world for decades. Through movies, TV shows, and music, America has spread its culture and ideology across the entire world, influencing every country exposed to it. Let's not pretend that Western countries are angels. So what can you do about this? Look for signs of foreign bots on social media. When you see Twitter accounts, Facebook accounts, or Instagram accounts making posts that seem to be sowing further division, encouraging violence, or speaking negatively about your country and the ideology it's founded upon, consider that these posts may have been created by agents working for foreign governments. When you watch events unfold inside your country, bear in mind that foreign forces may be attempting to make these events more violent and more destabilizing. If you feel negatively about your own country, take a moment to consider why you feel this way, and if it's possible that foreign forces encourage you to feel this way.